appropriate to be inappropriate, you know? To be weird, to be different. You guys into that? It was a place where we could be honest and we could be that. And this show was founded on the notion that our mothers did some things that were great, and some things to royally fuck us up. And that is where we get the best stories. So this show is where we get to pay homage to and make fun of the women who gave us life. L'chaim. L'chaim! Come on, Lobster, let's do this. A little story. I had a very Northwestern story, so I thought I'd share this tonight. It's called Making the Cut. I came out to my mom the summer before college. We were in the car eating a stack of White Castle burgers, and I had to tell her, Mom, I think I like girls. Oh, no, you don't. You were just really close to Grandma Levy and have a bad relationship with Daddy. I don't know what it was about my mom, but she was usually right. You know, she was right that if you ask for no ice, you get more soda. She was also Jewish. She was right that 2 Tylenol cures just about everything. And she was right that washcloths are better for cleaning your cooch than those spongy loofahs, and I know because my gynecologist said the same thing. But I had a feeling that in this case, she was wrong. I mean, I hadn't actually done anything with a girl, but there were, you know, the signs. Like Stephanie Skolnick in 8th grade, whose shirt I looked down while playing war on her bedroom floor. And Sherry Schwartz, my best friend in 11th grade, whose underwear I saw lying in the locker room and desperately wanted to sniff and study, wearing a hat. You guys want to wear hats too? I'm with you. So a few months later, I left for Northwestern to spread my little lesbian wings and fly. And there in the dorms, I met Brandon and Steven, 2 flaming freshmen who were also exploring their burgeoning sexuality. And together, we discovered what it meant to be gay from this new gizmo called the internet. I'm gonna take you back to the 90s. It was a game that Brandon found online called Gay or Eurotrash, Dyke or German Lady. See, there was a grid on the screen broken down into 9 squares, and each square had a picture of a different severe-looking woman with short hair, some kind of piercing, and khaki hiking shorts. And next to each square, it asked, Dyke or German Lady. It was really anyone's guess. And from that site, I learned that being gay meant looking butch. My hair spiky, a nose ring, and really unattractive footwear. I'm not talking this coat shit that I got from Marshalls before the show. $69.99. But I was nothing like those women. I had long, layered hair and breasts I loved to flaunt. So Brandon and Steven were making out just fine because Northwestern had a fabulous musical theater program. But I was still looking for my people. So one night, I snuck through campus to check out a meeting of Gigolo, the Bisexual, Gay, and Lesbian Alliance. And there, over hummus, I met an array of generally unfeminine women, including, but definitely not limited to, Amanda Bronson, who was so butch we called her Amanda Bronson. It was also at this time that I started following the Indigo Girls, all over the West. I'd look at the fans, you know, who were dancing and obviously gay, like, I'm trying to tell you something about my life. But they never even gave me the time of day. And when I went out to gay bars on Thanksgiving break in New York City, in my tight jeans and my low-cut tanks, I'd see other women with buzz cuts and baggy jeans. That was the style, it was the norm, it was before the L word, and it was nothing like me. I'd sit alone, sipping my Cosmo at Meow Mix, for all you New Yorkers, watching the other ladies pair off, just praying for a sign. Well, one day, walking down Christopher Street, I found it. It was a big rainbow pin. It was square and bright and 9 inches, and I tagged it to the front of my JanSport backpack. I'd also bought pride rings, 6 little circles, each a different color, and I wore it on a black cord around my neck, and that way you'd know I was gay whether I was coming or going, just no question about it. But you know, even with the paraphernalia, women still never looked my way. I mean, how was I not showing up on the gaydar? I was accessorizing. I don't know, you know, maybe my mom was right. Maybe I did just have an overly close relationship with Grandma Levy. But the signs, I mean, there was my counselor, Lana Weissman, at Beth Shalom Day Camp. She taught me the bases. Remember the bases? She was so cool, and I was a good student, and she was telling me about base number 2, so I asked for a tutorial, because really I'm a visual learner. She didn't give me a tutorial. Well, with a renewed sense of vigor back at Northwestern, Brandon and Stephen and I went to Roscoe's. 3 minutes into a Cher remix, Brandon went to bump and grind with some toe-headed Iowan. And Stephen glommed onto the first older European he could find. As usual, I was left alone on the dance floor in a dress, surrounded by gorgeous men in muscle tees. But this time was going to be different. There were a few sexy ladies in the corner dancing, all cute and drunk, and I thought, you know what, Nick? Go for it. So I shimmied up behind one of them singing, "Do you believe in life after love?" But she turned around and she gave me this dirty look, and that's when I noticed a string of condoms around her neck. She was there for her bachelorette party. Fuck me. Fuck me. No, really, I'm asking her, fuck me. I searched for Brandon, I found him against the ATM, sucking face with this DePaul guy named Chad. "Come on, Brandon, it's time to go. Really, come on." Chad turned to me and said, "Shh, patience, fat hag." Fat hag? Fat hag? I may be a little bit hag, but I'm also very much fat. And it was time I proved it. You just wait, Chad. I went home to New York City for the holidays and marched into Studio Z Salon in Bayside, Queens. It was owned by Chris and Ann, a lesbian couple, and they were going to change my life. Chris, she knew me for years, but when she asked if I wanted the usual, 3 inches off and feather the bangs, I said no. Cut it all off. What? Cut it all off. Locks hit the ground as I kept my eyes closed and talked about the new life I would have as a big bull dyke. I want to walk into a bar and be hit on by scores of women, all kinds of women looking for a good time. I want to walk down the street and see dykes, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's how it's done. And when I felt 5 pounds of weight lifted from my crown, Chris announced with slight trepidation that it was time to open my eyes. An old lady in the chair next to me reached for my hand. Chris stood behind me, her hands on my shoulders, maybe to comfort me, maybe because I was so hot she couldn't help herself. Put my head up, and I opened my eyes and looked in the mirror. And there, staring back at me was a German lady. I have to be honest and say that, unlike Sinead O'Connor or Natalie Portman or Willow Smith, who are so hot, they don't need hair, I was more Britney Spears circa 2007 British Queen. I looked down at my cast-off femininity that was being quickly swept up by Consuela, who looked at me like, "Ay, pobrecita." But you know what, Consuela? It was good. It was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. I held my head and spiky hair high, and that night I met friends for dinner on 54th Street, excited about the new year. And when the waitress seated us, she tapped a chair and said, "Sit here, sir." And my heart sank. But why? Isn't that exactly what I wanted? To look butch, to look gay, to fit in with my people? I hardly ate my chicken parmesan and went home right after dinner. I was in bed before the ball dropped. I returned to school in January in my baggy jeans and green Doc Martens, looking every bit the baby dyke I was trying to be. And sure, the women of Big Island now welcomed me with open arms and invited me to beer pong tournaments. It's true. But I just didn't feel like me anymore. I missed my dresses, my push-up bras, and putting my hair up in a ponytail. You guys look really good, but it is really hard for me to style 1 inch of hair. I don't know how you do it. Nothing looked good. It took about 10 months for my hair to grow back to at least shoulder length. But during that time, I got this graduation present that I had been begging my mom for 4 years. It was a trip to Europe. So of course, I had to get a passport photo taken. So for the next 7 years, each time I left the country, applied for a job, or wanted to even go to Canada, a customs agent would invariably look down at my photo and up at me in confusion, and I'd have to say, yes, that's me. But I knew it wasn't. It wasn't until I moved from New York City to Los Angeles for work in 2002, kicking and screaming, that something changed. It is completely true what they say about LA. The traffic sucks, the bagels blow, and if I'm offered full-body laser hair removal from my dermatologist one more time, I'm going to shave my pubes and leave them at reception for me. Let's face it, LA is the mecca of boob jobs and Botox and bullshit. But what they don't tell you on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is that LA is also the lipstick lesbian capital of the world. You're nodding, it's so true. I mean, even the dykes on bikes in the Pride Parade wax their eyebrows. That's what I'm talking about. My mother has been begging me to move back to New York for the last 12 years. And though it's taken me almost that long to call Los Angeles and West Hollywood my home, let's just say I do not stick around for the weather. Thank you so much.